your title.
My name's Joseph Sherwood, and I'm the owner and operator of Custom Warehouse.
Wow. How long have you been doing this?
Been doing it about 5 years. Started out when I was on a road trip out to Colorado from New Jersey, and my grandmother gave me an old Janome sewing machine, and I've been going at it ever since.
Okay, so it seems like your grandma inspired the movement.
My grandma was definitely a big inspiration for me.
Shout out to the grandma.
Yeah, for sure. She's a very artistic lady.
My grandma inspired a lot of that I do now today too, so I can relate to that.
Yeah.
So tell us, how can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at custom_warehouse, WEARHOUSE. I got a website. It's customwarehouse.us, spelled the same way. That's actually an online marketplace where you can find upcycled clothes like this and like this from artists all over the world. We're trying to get people away from fast fashion where they can find a sustainable alternative and a unique alternative to, the kind of mass-produced clothes that everybody wears. So if you're into that sort of thing, you should check out the website for sure.
So was that some of the main intention when you started, was to get people out of the big brands and come and enjoy the original, art pieces that you have? I consider these art pieces.
I would consider them art pieces too, but yeah, I mean, if I said that the goal was originally, to get people away from fast fashion, I'd be lying. The way this started is I just liked making clothes. I liked wearing unique stuff. I like working with my hands. So I just did it because I wanted to make cool shit that I could wear.
Yeah.
Then it just sort of turned into a brand, turned into a marketplace, and so we're trying to go at it 100%.
That's super cool.
Hey. What's up? How you doing?
Good. Can we draw on that?
Yeah. Yeah, go crazy. You want me to move that?
You're good.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Here, let me get my bag out the way. Sorry. Oops. Go ahead, girl. You good?
Yeah, thanks for contributing.
Yeah. Tell us what's going on right here. It seems like you have like a little live art going on.
Yeah, so, to get people involved, I like to just put out a white pair of jeans and some fabric markers and let people go crazy, and it turns into sort of a collaborative piece over the course of a day's market,
Wow,
And maybe if it's not filled in, I'll, put some patches on it at the end, maybe screen print on some parts and, see what comes of it.
Very cool. It seems like you're very big on the community work. What is the community influence? Does the community influence you? How does that?
I just think that art's more fun when it's done together, just like everything else. And, collaboration kind of puts new ideas in my head, puts new ideas in other artists' head. It just makes the process more fun, and you sort of get this alchemy of different people's ideas, crazy things kind of come out of it. So, yeah.
It seems like you have one character, the gentleman from the bag and the pants. Is that your character that's part of the logo, or is that an idea that comes off?
Yeah, I don't know if it's part of the logo, but it's just sort of this dude that I've been doodling in my notebook since I was old enough to hold a pencil. So it's
cool.
bled into the fabric art. You got all the same kind of guy on here. You got this guy.
Yeah.
He's smoking cigarettes. Smoking cigarettes is bad. Don't do that, kids.
I don't recommend it.
Yeah, and then another one I use a lot is I have a screen print of Jim Carrey's The Mask, which is my favorite movie, so I put that all over stuff.
That's so cool. You combine buttons with them. Tell us, what is that? How does that combine with your art? Because it seems like a lot of your designs have buttons on it. Is that signify something, or is that just something that you collaborate with?
I go to secondhand art supply stores quite often, and they always have these big bowls of buttons, and they say you can fill a bag with buttons for $1. And so nobody needs that many buttons, right? Like on a pair of jeans, you really only need one pair of buttons.
Yeah.
So I just had all these buttons sitting around, and I was like, hey, what if I just sewed them up top by the pockets as sort of a ornamental little thing? I like how it looks.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
It looks amazing. When you come up with the ideas, how does that work out? Is it something that you just flow with, or you look at it and you draw it up, or how does that work out?
So I keep all my supplies in an art room, and
You're good. No, you're good, girl.
while you're sewing, you have a lot of time to just sort of mindlessly think about stuff. So as a piece is coming together, I'll sort of be in this flow state where I'm sewing things, and then like an idea will just sort of pop into your head. And luckily, I have the materials around me. I just grab it and go with it. So it's
So you do it on the fly. It's right there.
yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, other times, I'm driving and something pops in my head, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta like remember that and go home and like execute that. So inspiration comes from many places. Trying to think, like, there's some pieces up there that were inspired by some vines that I was seeing growing up some trees, so I try to incorporate that.
So your, I'm gonna call your catalog. You do male and female clothes, or just male clothes, or combine? How does that?
Majority male clothes. I'm trying to move into making more female clothes, but the way this all started was I just had a bunch of clothes in my closet that I wasn't wearing anymore, and I don't like buying new clothes. I don't like spending money.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. So basically, I just wanted to make them cool and stuff that I could wear. So I'm definitely more comfortable working with males' clothes. But I got some things like I made this skirt here. I got another skirt over here. I work with a lot of jeans, so I got some women's jeans and some men's jeans and stuff.
So just depending on the idea at the moment, I'm gonna run with it, because it seems like you got like a lab coat here.
Yeah.
So it's just whatever. It's not necessarily pants, shorts, or shirts. It's lab coats as well. Anything you get your hands on.
Yeah, well, I don't like to waste things, so sometimes pieces of clothing come into my possession, like a family member will give them to me, and I'll just sort of work with that however I can. And this lab coat, that was just something I found like in a thrift store in Guatemala, and it was like 20 cents or something in US dollars, so I was like, hey, I'll pick that up and use it as a canvas. So
Has any of your pieces been inspired from being outside of the country?
Sure, yeah. I mean, like this sort of animal it's an embroidery patch that I made, so that, I saw a lot of exotic animals while traveling, and so that, makes me think of things. And yeah, I don't know that anything's directly inspired by one geographic location, but, things that I've seen and been influenced by over the years sort of, I like to think that they bleed into my work.
And how long have you been in your business and doing the custom warehouse? How long have you been in business?
So the sewing aspect of the business, making the clothes, I've been doing that for about 6 years now. And the website, the marketplace that I just opened up, has been around for about a year. So I'm trying to catch some momentum on that, start the upcycled sustainable fashion revolution, and, try to get the ball rolling.
That's very cool, man. Super fucking cool, man. Super cool. So you're pretty much officially in your first year of business, pretty much. Like year and a half, let's say.
Yeah.
For people that are starting their business in their first year, what do you recommend?
Not being afraid to try things and fail is really kind of the most important thing, I would say. You're not going to get anywhere if you're overthinking everything. It's kind of just about throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks, So wake up, if you have an idea, like just give it a shot. And, 90% of the time it's not going to work out, but then that other 10% of the time you're going to figure out what kind of lane you're supposed to be in and the type of things that work for you.
Do you take any custom requests? Like, hey, I want a pair of pants like this, can you do that for me? Or do you do your own original work?
I love doing custom work, commissions. Yeah, I mean, as long as they're reasonable. Some people have some unreasonable requests they want me to do. 200 hours of work for $40 or something like that. But a lot of the time it's a great collaborative process, having somebody come to me with their vision, and then I come back with like, oh, maybe we could tweak it like this. And so, yeah, it makes for a fun little collaborative process. And,
So you're not you're okay with doing some collaboration if it's reasonable at a reasonable, if unless they're willing to pay, obviously. But you're willing to collaborate to be reasonable. Like, hey, this takes hours because you're literally, as I pulled up, you were doing something by hand, even though you have a machine. But seems like there's some custom work to where you just have to do it by hand. The machine is just not going to do it for you. So they have to take that into consideration too.
Yeah, and it's nothing against anybody because they don't, people don't know what kind of labor goes into making certain stuff because they don't sew themselves, which is totally understandable. But yeah, doing commissions is great, and the satisfaction of seeing people like have their vision come to life and being able to do that for people is super rewarding. So I love doing commissions.
That is cool. And so you do, besides pants, shirts, lab coats, you do handbags.
I do handbags, yeah.
And hats.
And hats.
Wow.
I'm always trying to expand the repertoire.
If you don't mind, here, I'll hand it to you.
Sure, yeah.
I'll hand it to you. They have to see this. That's amazing.
Yeah, so this is...
walk us through it. What was that, making that like?
This was 2 pairs of jeans. We had a black pair of jeans and a blue pair of jeans, and then there was a fleece. I repurposed the fly on the jeans, and there's a little functional pocket here where you can hide whatever you want. It doesn't have to be illegal.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's a stash
it could be, but it doesn't have to be. Yeah, and I turned it into I use it as a laptop bag. So I pop my laptop in there and sort of sling it over my shoulder and walk around town, go to the coffee shop or whatever. Wow. Got more pockets here. I got another one kind of like this.
Yeah.
That I could show off. Yeah. So this is more of like a tote bag sort of thing. I like putting a little face on it, so you have a little buddy everywhere you go. Got some ears there. Functional pocket on the back. You can put your laptop or whatever in there too. Yeah. Wow. A lot of people say it reminds them of the BFG.
Wow.
But not me.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
One last time, all social media, everything, how can they get a hold of you? If somebody, walk us through step 1, somebody gets a hold of you and they say they want a custom piece, how can they get a hold of you?
If you want to get a hold of me for a custom piece, you can look up my Instagram. That's custom_warehouse, WEARHOUSE. You could also find my website, customwarehouse.us. I'm on Facebook too. You can look up Custom Warehouse, send me a DM, and let's work together. Let's make some stuff.
Right on. Thank you so much for your time, brother. I truly appreciate this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sabino.